Imagine being born not from a womb, but from fire. Born not as an ordinary girl, but as a woman destined to challenge kings, shape wars, and inspire generations. Draupadi wasn't just a queen, she was a force of nature. Her story, a journey of resilience, justice, and destiny, is one of the most compelling chapters in the Mahabharata. Let's dive into the life of Draupadi, a woman who defined norms and rewrote the rules of her time. In our last video, we explored the Pandavas, their struggles, victories, and the bonds that kept them united. But at the heart of their journey stood Draupadi. She wasn't just a bystander, she was the fire that fueled their path to glory. Today, we uncover the story of this extraordinary woman. Draupadi wasn't born in a conventional way. She emerged from the sacred flames of a yajna performed by her father, King Drupada. Why? Because Drupada wanted a son to avenge his defeat by Dronacharya. But alongside the warrior son Drishtadyumna came Draupadi. She wasn't just another child. A divine voice at her birth proclaimed that she would play a pivotal role in the destiny of the Kshatriyas, the warrior class. In a way, she was born to reshape history. Her name Draupadi ties her to her father Drupada, but she was also called Krishna, not only for her dark complexion, but because of her connection with Lord Krishna. She wasn't just beautiful, she was intelligent, strong willed, and fiercely loyal. Here's a twist: Draupadi didn't marry one man, she married five, the Pandavas. At her Swayamvara, Arjuna won her hand, fulfilling a challenge of incredible skill. But when the brothers returned home, their mother Kunti, unaware of what they brought, instructed them to share equally. And so Draupadi became the wife of all five Pandavas. A marriage unlike any other in mythology. But her marriage wasn't just unusual, it was central to uniting the Pandavas. Draupadi became the link that held the brothers together during their trials and tribulations. Draupadi wasn't just known for her beauty, she was fiery, articulate, and unafraid to speak her mind. Whether it was confronting Dhritarashtra in the Kuru court or standing up to Duryodhana, she wasn't afraid to challenge anyone who crossed the line of dharma. Her intelligence was just as striking as her beauty. She often played a strategic role, especially in critical moments like the Kurukshetra war. Even in her greatest moments of adversity, Draupadi remained a pillar of strength. She endured humiliation, exile, and loss, yet she never wavered in her quest for justice. Her life is a reminder that courage isn't just about physical strength, it's about standing up for what's right, even when the odds are against you. So, as we begin this journey into her story, remember Draupadi wasn't just a queen. She was a trailblazer, a warrior in her own right, and a beacon of justice in a world filled with chaos. Let me tell you a story of fire and destiny, and a prophecy that shook an entire kingdom. What if your birth wasn't just a chance, but a divine intervention to fulfill a purpose? Draupadi's birth wasn't ordinary, it was fiery, literally and symbolic, designed to shape the future of the Kshatriyas, the warrior class of ancient India. Our story begins with King Drupada, the ruler of Panchala. Now, Drupada was a powerful king, but he had a deep grudge against Dronacharya, his childhood friend turned enemy. Drona had humiliated Drupada and the king wanted revenge. But how could he defeat the mighty Drona? He decided he needed divine help. So Drupada turned to the sacred fire. He performed an intense yajna, a rural sacrifice with one goal to gain a child strong enough to defeat Drona. But here's the twist: out of the flames didn't emerge just one child, two extraordinary beings were born that day. First came Drishtadyumna, a warrior destined to kill Dronacharya. But then something even more miraculous happened. A beautiful woman stepped out of the fire, fully grown, radiant, and otherworldly. This was Draupadi, also known as Krishna. Her dark complexion, glowing with a divine aura, earned her this name. But she wasn't just beautiful, she was destined for something far greater. At her birth, a divine voice echoed through the skies. It proclaimed that Draupadi was born to bring great change. She would challenge the norms, stand at the heart of justice, and be instrumental in the destruction of the Kshatriya class. In simpler terms, she was born to be a game changer. Think about it. Draupadi's life was written in the stars, but it wasn't going to be easy. Her destiny was tied to chaos and conflict, yet her role was to uphold dharma, justice, and righteousness. Now let's pause here for a moment. Draupadi's birth wasn't just about revenge or prophecy, it was deeply symbolic. Emerging from fire signifies purification, strength, and transformation. She wasn't born through conventional means, which made her existence extraordinary. Fire also represented her personality, intense, bold, and unyielding. And she wasn't alone. Her brother Dhishtadyumna would fight the battles alongside her, making their family a force to be reckoned with. Now you might wonder why she was called Krishna. It wasn't just about her complexion. Draupadi shared a unique connection with Lord Krishna. Both were protectors of Dharma. Both stood for justice in the face of overwhelming odds. This bond would shape many key events in her life, as we will see in later chapters. Here is the thing about prophecies. They are powerful, but they come with a burden. Draupadi's life wasn't going to be easy. She was born with a purpose, but fulfilling that purpose meant enduring unimaginable challenges. From her polyandrous marriage to her public humiliation in the Kurukul, every event in her life seemed to test her resilience. And yet, she never broke. Her fire only grew stronger. Draupadi's birth is more than a mythological tale. It's a lesson about destiny and purpose. She wasn't just a daughter or a queen. She was a symbol of transformation and resilience. Her story shows us that even in the face of adversity, we can rise, just like she rose from the flames. Her birth set the stage for one of the greatest epics of all time. Draupadi wasn't just born to live, she was born to lead, to inspire, and to fight for what's right. And this is just the beginning. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how her fiery spirit shaped the lives of the Pandavas, challenged the Kauravas, and changed the course of history. So stay with us as we unravel the incredible story of Draupadi. Imagine being the queen of not one but five warriors, each a hero in his own right. A marriage like no other in history. Draupadi's relationship with the Pandavas wasn't just about tradition or love, it was about unity, destiny, and dharma. Today, we are diving into the extraordinary story of Draupadi's marriage and her role in shaping the lives of the Pandavas. It all began with a challenge, a Swayamvara, a ceremony where a bride chooses her groom. But Draupadi's Swayamvara wasn't just any ceremony. King Drupada set an almost impossible task: string a mighty bow and hit the eye of a revolving fish by looking only at its reflection in the water. Sounds tough, right? Princes and warriors from across the land came to try their luck. Among them were Karna, Duryodhana, and of course the Pandavas. But it was Arjuna, disguised as a Brahmin, who nailed the challenge, literally. With unmatched skill, he struck the fish eye and won Draupadi's hand. Here is where the story takes a twist. When Arjuna returned home with Draupadi, he excitedly told his mother Kunti, "Look what I have bought." Now Kunti, without looking, casually said, "Share it equally among yourselves." Yes, you heard that right. Share it equally. In keeping with their mother's word, Draupadi married all five brothers: Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. It sounds strange today, but back then this wasn't just a family decision. It was a divine arrangement, fulfilling Draupadi's destiny and uniting the Pandavas. Draupadi's marriage wasn't just about following Kunti's command. It had a deeper purpose. The Pandavas were destined to work together to uphold Dharma, and Draupadi became the thread that tied them all. Her shared role ensured no jealousy or division between the brothers, keeping them united through their many challenges. Think about it. The Pandavas faced exile, betrayal, and a great war. But through it all, Draupadi stood by their side, inspiring them to stay strong and fight for justice. Let's break this down. Draupadi's relationship with each brother was unique. Yudhishthira, the eldest, saw her as his equal partner in upholding Dharma. She often advised him, even questioning his decisions when they didn't align with justice. Remember the dice game? It was Draupadi's sharp questions in the court that exposed the Kauravas. With Bhima, she shared a bond of protection. Bhima, the strongest of the Pandavas, was always ready to fight for her honor. Whether it was avenging her humiliation or rescuing her from Kichaka, Bhima's loyalty to Draupadi was unwavering. Arjuna, the hero who won her hand, shared a romantic and emotional bond with Draupadi. Despite his other marriages, Draupadi remained a central figure in his life. Nakula and Sahadeva, the youngest brothers, respected Draupadi as their elder and often looked to her for guidance. She treated them with the same care and affection as she did the others. Draupadi wasn't just a wife, she was the glue that held the Pandavas together. Her shared role ensured they remained united even during tough times. Remember, the Pandavas were not just brothers, they were warriors with strong personalities. Draupadi's presence balanced their differences and strengthened their bond. Let's not forget, this wasn't an easy role for Draupadi. Being the wife of five men meant constant scrutiny and pressure. Society questioned her, the Kauravas humiliated her, and even the Pandavas sometimes failed to protect her. But Draupadi's strength lay in her resilience. She never let her circumstances define her. Draupadi's marriage wasn't just a twist in the Mahabharata. It symbolized dharma, destiny, and the power of unity. She wasn't a passive character. She actively shaped the Pandavas' journey, guiding them through triumphs and tragedy. So the next time you think of Draupadi, Remember, her marriage wasn't just about relationships, it was about purpose. She was a queen who united five warriors and inspired them to fight for justice. Her marriage was the foundation, but Draupadi's story didn't end there. In the next chapters, we will explore how she faced betrayal, exile, and the horrors of war, all while standing tall as a symbol of courage and dharma. Stay with us as we unravel more of Draupadi's incredible journey. Imagine being reduced from a queen to a slave in just one evening, not because of war, not because of betrayal, but because of a game. Draupadi's story in the Kuru court isn't just about humiliation, it's a tale of dharma being tested, the abuse of power, and one of women's courage to stand against it. Today, we dive into one of the most dramatic moments in the Mahabharata, the infamous dice game and Draupadi's humiliation. It all started with a game. Duryodhana, jealous of the Pandavas' wealth and power, invited Yudhishthira to a game of dice. But it wasn't just any game. Shakuni, Duryodhana's uncle, was the one throwing the dice. And Shakuni, he was a master of deceit. The game was rigged from the start. Yudhishthira, known for his adherence to Dharma, accepted the challenge, even though he wasn't skilled in the gambling. With every throw, he kept losing. His wealth, his kingdom, his brothers, and finally himself. But the worst was yet to come. Shakuni, intoxicated with victory, suggested Yudhishthira take Draupadi. Think about that. A queen, a woman of honor, reduced to an object in a gamble. Yudhishthira, now clouded by his addiction to the game, agreed. When Shakuni won, Duryodhana ordered Draupadi to be brought to the court. An attendant was sent to summon her. But Draupadi, unaware of the game's outcome, asked a sharp question. Did Yudhishthira lose himself first or me? How can a man who has lost himself stake someone else? Her question wasn't just clever, it exposed the moral flaw in what had happened. But Duryodhana didn't care. He sent Dushasana, his brother, to drag Draupadi into the court. What followed was one of the darkest moments in the Mahabharata. Draupadi, clad in a single garment, was dragged into the court by her hair. The court was filled with elders, Bhishma, Drona, Vidura, and yet silence filled the room. They watched, helpless, as Dushasana humiliated her. Duryodhana mocked her further, inviting her to sit on his thigh. Karna added insult to injury, calling her a slave who no longer had the rights of a queen. The court, which was supposed to uphold dharma, became a place of adharma. But Draupadi didn't stay silent. Even in the face of humiliation, she raised her voice. She questioned the dharma of Kuru elders. She asked whether Yudhishthira had the right to stake her after losing himself. Her words were piercing. Where is the dharma of the Kuru elders? Why are they silent? Her questions weren't just for the court, they were for society, challenging the very idea of justice. She turned her humiliation into a call for accountability. As Dushasana tried to disrobe Draupadi, something miraculous happened. For every layer of her garment he pulled, another appeared. No matter how much he tried, he couldn't disrobe her. This was Krishna's divine intervention, protecting her honor. It was a moment that silenced the court, a moment that reminded everyone the power of Dharma. Bhima, enraged by Draupadi's humiliation, vowed to kill Dushasana and drink his blood. He also swore to break Duryodhana's thigh, the same thigh he had mockingly shown to Draupadi. These vows would shape the events of the Kurukshetra war. Draupadi, though humiliated, didn't let this incident break her spirit. Instead, it became her driving force, her reason to seek justice. She demanded answers, and she became a symbol of resilience. The dice game wasn't just about Draupadi's humiliation, it was a turning point in the Mahabharata. It exposed the moral decay within the Kuru dynasty. It set the stage for the Kurukshetra war. And most importantly, it showed the world that even in the darkest moments, courage and dharma can shine through. So when we think of Draupadi, we don't just remember her as a queen or a wife. We remember her as a fighter, a symbol of justice, and a beacon of hope in a world that often seems unfair. This incident marked the beginning of the Pandavas' path to reclaiming dharma. But Draupadi's journey didn't end here. In the next chapters, we will explore how she faced exile, betrayal, and war, all while staying true to her values. Stay tuned as we continue this incredible story. Imagine being a queen once surrounded by luxury and respect, now roaming through forest, battling daily struggles. Draupadi's life in exile wasn't just a journey through the wilderness. It was a taste of resilience, dignity, and her unbreakable bond with the Pandavas. Today we dive into Draupadi's life in exile, a tale of strength and survival. The exile began after the infamous dice game. Draupadi and the Pandavas lost everything, their kingdom, their riches, and their honor. They were forced to live clad in deer skin, carrying the weight of their humiliation. For Draupadi, this wasn't just about losing her home. It was about adjusting to a life that was the complete opposite of what she had known. The Pandavas, along with Draupadi, settled in the Kamyaka forest. They lived off roots, fruits, and the bare essentials. But this wasn't just a physical struggle, it was emotional too. Draupadi often reflected on her past life and the injustices she faced. Yet she didn't let despair break her spirit. She kept reminding the Pandavas of their duty to reclaim justice. One of the most remarkable aspects of this phase was how Draupadi adapted. Despite the hardships, she maintained her dignity and supported her husbands, even while questioning their decisions when needed. But life in exile wasn't free of danger. One of the most shocking events was Draupadi's abduction by Jayadratha, the king of Sindhu. During one moment, when the Pandavas were away hunting, Jayadratha spotted Draupadi and, captivated by her beauty, tried to forcefully take her away. Draupadi resisted with all her might. She cursed Jayadratha and screamed for help. Thankfully, the Pandavas returned in time, defeated Jayadratha, and rescued her. This incident wasn't just about physical rescue, it reinforced the Pandavas' responsibility to protect her, no matter the circumstances. But perhaps the most infamous moment of this exile was Draupadi's encounter with Kichaka. While in disguise as a maid in King Virata's palace, Draupadi became the target of Kichaka, the lustful general of the Matsya kingdom. Kichaka repeatedly harassed her, confident that no one could stop him. Finally, Draupadi turned to Bhima for help. Together, they devised a plan. Draupadi lured Kichaka to a secluded area, where Bhima confronted and killed him in a brutal fight. This was more than revenge, it was justice, and it was a reminder that even in exile, Draupadi's dignity was non negotiable. Throughout their exile, Draupadi wasn't just a passive character. She was a constant source of strength and motivation for the Pandavas. She reminded them of their duty to reclaim their kingdom and uphold Dharma. Her sharp words often steered their spirits, pushing them to stay focused on their ultimate goal. She endured physical hardships, danger, and constant threats to her dignity. Yet she never gave up. She stood strong, not just for herself but as a pillar for the Pandavas. Her courage during these years was a testament to her unyielding spirit. Exile was supposed to break Draupadi, but it only made her stronger. She emerged as a symbol of resistance, a queen who refused to bow down to injustice. In the next chapter, we will see how she carried this strength into the Kurukshetra war, playing a pivotal role in shaping its outcome. Stay tuned for more of Draupadi's incredible journey. Imagine being the force that ignites one of history's greatest wars. Draupadi wasn't just a queen in the Mahabharata, she was the driving force behind the Kurukshetra war. Her determination to reclaim justice turned personal pain into a catalyst for monumental change. Today, let's explore Draupadi's pivotal role in the war and the immense emotional cost she bore. Draupadi's humiliation in the Kuru court wasn't just an insult, it was an injustice that cried out for retribution. During their years of exile, she kept reminding the Pandavas of the wrongs they had suffered. Her fiery words didn't let them forget the vows they had made. Bhima had sworn to kill Dushasana and drink his blood. Arjuna vowed to defeat Karna. Draupadi's resolve became their resolve. She wasn't someone who sat back and waited. Draupadi actively demanded justice. She challenged the Pandavas' moments of hesitation and pushed them to fight for their rights, ensuring they wouldn't settle for anything less than the restoration of their honor. When the Pandavas sent Krishna as a peace emissary, Draupadi supported the idea of diplomacy. But when Duryodhana refused even 5 villages, her patience ran out. Draupadi declared that peace with the Kauravas was impossible without justice. For her, the war wasn't about land or power. It was about righting the wrongs done to her and her family. Her words echoed with power. Why should a queen live like a servant? Justice cannot come from consolation. It must be fought for. This wasn't just personal, it was about dharma, the very foundation of righteousness. But war always comes at a price, and for Draupadi it was deeply personal. The Kurukshetra war claimed the lives of her 5 sons. Each was born to one of her husbands, and they were her pride and joy. Yet they were brutally killed by Ashwathama in the final days of the war. Imagine the pain of losing not just one but all of your children. For Draupadi, victory came wrapped in immeasurable grief. Her brothers and her father, King Drupada, also perished in the war. The cost of justice was heavy, and it left Draupadi carrying an ocean of sorrow even in triumph. Despite her grief, Draupadi's role in the Kurukshetra war left an indelible mark. Her unwavering resolve inspired the Pandavas to fight for justice. Her words motivated Krishna to support their cause, emphasizing the moral righteousness of their battle. Draupadi's story in the war wasn't about wielding weapons, it was about wielding her voice and her unshakable sense of dharma. Draupadi's involvement in the Kurukshetra war teaches us powerful lessons. She transformed her personal tragedy into a rallying cry for justice. She showed that courage isn't just about physical strength, it's about standing up for what's right, no matter the cost. The Kurukshetra war might have ended, but its consequences lived on. Draupadi's life was a mix of triumph and tragedy, resilience and sorrow. Yet through it all, she remained a beacon of justice and a reminder that even in the darkest times, Dharma can prevail. Stay with us as we continue exploring the incredible legacy of Draupadi and the lessons her life holds for us. Every story has an end, but some endings leave a legacy that lasts forever. Draupadi's final journey with the Pandavas wasn't just the conclusion of a life filled with trials and triumphs. It was a testament to her strength, resilience, and the powerful legacy she left behind. Today, let's walk with Draupadi on her last journey and explore what her life still teaches us. After ruling their kingdom and fulfilling their earthly duties, the Pandavas and Draupadi decided to renounce everything. This marked the start of their Mahaprasthanika or Great Journey. Together, they left behind their crowns, riches, and palaces to walk toward the Himalayas, seeking moksha, liberation from the cycle of life and death. This journey wasn't just physical, it was symbolic of leaving behind material attachment. For Draupadi, who had lived through luxury, humiliation, exile, and triumph, this journey was her final act of surrender to the greater cosmic truth. On the journey, one by one, the companions fell. Draupadi was the first one to succumb. As she fell, Bhima, who always had a deep bond with her, turned to Yudhishthira and asked, why did Draupadi fall first? What was her fault? Yudhishthira, known for his adherence to Dharma, gave a painful yet revealing answer. He said, Draupadi was partial to Arjuna. Though she was the queen of all five of us, her heart favored one. This wasn't a judgment but an acknowledgement of her humanity. Even someone as great as Draupadi had her imperfections, showing us that flaws are a part of being human. Draupadi's fall symbolizes the relinquishment of earthly emotions and attachment. She had lived a life of intense highs and lows, but in the end she walked the path of Dharma. Her fall was a reminder that no one, not even queens and heroes, is exempt from the consequences of their choices. But Draupadi's life wasn't defined by her fall. It was defined by her strength. She was more than a queen. She was a warrior in her own right. She faced humiliation and fought back with dignity. She endured exile and became the moral compass of the Pandavas. Her courage during the dice game, her resilience in exile, and her determination to see justice served during the Kurukshetra war make her a timeless icon of strength. Her story inspires us even today. She showed that no matter how many challenges life throws at you, you can rise above them with dignity and determination. Draupadi wasn't perfect, but she was powerful, and that's what makes her story so relatable. Why does Draupadi's story matter even today? Because it teaches us that strength comes from within. It teaches us to stand up for justice, even when the odds are against us. It reminds us that it's okay to be flawed, as long as we strive to do what's right. Draupadi is a symbol of resilience, not just for women, but for anyone who faces adversity. Her story is a reminder that dharma, justice, and righteousness isn't always about winning. Sometimes it's about standing your ground, even when you lose. So, what's next? Draupadi's story is just one chapter in the Mahabharata. There are many other characters, each with their own lessons to teach us, like Karna, Krishna, and many others. If you want to dive deeper into these stories and uncover their wisdom, join our journey. Let's learn from the Mahabharata, not just as a story, but as a guide to life.